Welcome, church. My name is Andrew Madrid, and today I have a very good video, but it's a short video for you. And it's from this fellow here to the left of me. His name is Leo, and the title of his YouTube channel is The Father Leo Show. All right. The title of the video says, "Should Catholic priests debate Protestants online? Why debating faith fails over real conversation." So we already know what his answer is. It's not hard to figure it out. But I started watching this just to see what he had to say, and something caught my attention. So I want to talk about something that this guy, Leo, says and why it's a problem. Here we go.
Then I just realized that there is no other true church. There are churches that have truths, but the one holy Catholic apostolic church is truly the church that Jesus Christ established.
All right. So basically, what he is saying is, no, I'm not going to debate this Protestant guy. Why? Because I believe that I am in the one true holy Catholic apostolic church that Jesus founded, right? That's basically what he said. So what this tells us is this. It speaks volumes of Leo here. What he's saying is, look, I've already found the truth. So basically, there's no point in debating you or any of this, because I already know the truth. And I have it. You don't, but I have it. And so he says, the Catholic Church is, the one true, holy, apostolic. And it sounds great, doesn't it? All the titles. It's like if you ever go to listen to a speaker and the person announces them. They're like, "Oh, and please give your welcome to Bob. Bob is, the president of such and such company. He is a billionaire. He donates money to whatever charity. He loves puppies." You understand what I'm saying? That's what Catholics do. It's like the announcement. We are the one true holy Catholic apostolic, on and on and on and on and on. All right, the point here is apostolic. I could go into more of those words that they use, but I want to bring up apostolic. So this guy is making the claim that his religion, the Catholic religion, is somehow the church that Jesus founded, right? Okay. So that would imply that the Catholic Church would have to teach what the apostles taught. If Catholics are teaching something that the apostles didn't teach, excuse me, then it can't be apostolic. You with me? Okay. So, in the Catholic Catechism, paragraph 2068, it says that Catholics receive salvation through three things. One is faith, two is baptism, and three is the observance of the Ten Commandments. Okay? That is a Catholic teaching. Comes straight from their book, their Catholic Catechism. Well, let's see if that's true, shall we? So if we open up our Bibles to Romans chapter 3, starting off at verse 27. And just so you know, this is Paul the Apostle speaking. He says, "Can we boast then that we have done anything to be accepted by God?" So Paul is saying, in simple English, Paul is saying, can you do anything to earn heaven? Okay? Is like, can you do anything that would make you, worthy of going to heaven? And he responds by saying no. That's the answer. And he says, because our acquittal, and when he says acquittal, he's meaning it like, you're being released from your penalty of going to hell. So normally you'd be going to hell, but he's like, no, you're not going to be going to hell. Why? Because salvation is based on obeying the law. No, because it's not based on obeying the law. Got a little tongue-tied there. He says it is based on faith. So we are made right with God through faith and not obeying the law. So what I want everyone to understand is this. The law is very long. And it includes the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments are part of the law that Paul is talking about. It's not the entire law, but it's part of the law. So Paul is saying that salvation is through faith and not through following the law. Now, why is that important? Because remember, the Catholic Catechism teaches there are three things that you need for salvation: faith, baptism, and observance of the Ten Commandments. So if we remove baptism at the moment, the Catholic religion is claiming that you have to have faith and follow the law. Let me repeat that. The Catholic Catechism teaches that you have to have faith and follow the law. But Paul is saying no, it's not and. He's saying, so faith and the law. Paul is saying you have to have faith, not the law. Catholics are saying you have to have faith and the law. So Catholics are saying you have to have them both, and Paul is saying no, it's only faith. All right? So this is one of many problems here for Catholicism, because the Catholic religion has lied, and it is not apostolic. It's not teaching what the apostles taught at all, in any way, shape, or form. And so when it comes down to debating, this guy has already made up his mind. He's made up his mind that he's in the church that Jesus established. So he doesn't feel a need to debate, right? And so what I want everyone to understand here is this. This guy, Leo here, he has his heart and his mind closed off. He's built a brick wall, and he's hiding behind it. He doesn't want to hear anything else. So the thing here is this. Talking to him would be like, say I was talking to him, it would be like him going, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I already know the truth. So there's no point. He's not open to listening to anything. And that's sad. So, Scripture does teach us that the Catholic Church is not apostolic. No matter what Catholics say, it's not apostolic. They're teaching things that are not what Paul the Apostle taught. And what's sad, like I said, is that people don't want to know the truth. They want to hide and pretend that, they're good. So, in my opinion, is it fruitful to have a debate with this guy? No. Because it doesn't matter what you said. It won't matter to him. He won't care at all. It's always going to be, he's going to default to whatever his feelings are. But for anyone listening, you can see that the Catholic Church is not apostolic. It's not the church that Christ founded. And I think, I think it's a shame, but there's nothing that people can do. Meaning, what I mean is this, is that you can't force someone to listen. You can't force them to think about what you're saying. You can't force them to understand. You just have to accept, that's just the way it is. So even if you have irrefutable proof, irrefutable evidence like this, he's not going to listen. He's closed his heart. He's closed his mind. And so it doesn't benefit anyone. Like I said, it would be equivalent to arguing with a, 5-year-old child. No matter what you say, they're going to be like, nuh-uh. My mom said something else. Or my dad told me something else. So you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you say. Well, my dad's right. You're wrong. No matter what you say, my dad's right. Well, why is he right? Because he's my dad. That's the way kids are. It's like, so he's acting like a 5-year-old child. The Catholic Church is right. Because it's my daddy. Well, that doesn't make any sense, but okay, whatever. So the thing here is this, is that you have to be open to God. If you want to find God, you have to be open to Him. You have to be able to listen. But if you're not going to be open, it doesn't matter what anyone says. So imagine you are a 5-year-old child and your dad tells you that the sky is green. And then you go along and you're like, hey, maybe you're the teacher, the kid's teacher, and you're like, the sky is blue, everyone. And the 5-year-old child's like, nuh-uh, my daddy said the sky's green. You could be like, all right, kids, let's go outside, let's look at the sky. And you can say, see, the sky's blue. And the child's going to be like, nuh-uh, my dad said it's green, so it's green. You could be like, look, kid, what color is that the sky? You can say, oh, it's blue. And you can say, see, the sky's blue. Nuh-uh, my dad says green, so it's green. You can't help people like that. You can't help them. They're stuck. You could have all the proof, all the evidence in the world. You can put it right in front of them. They won't believe it. Nuh-uh, my Catholic church says something else. Okay then. And see, that's what happens in the New Testament when Jesus sends his disciples out into the world. Basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, this isn't word for word, but basically he's like, go out and go into the towns, do what you gotta do. But if people don't want to listen, shake the dust off your feet and walk off. Go to the next town, go to the next village. Don't waste your time on those people. So the same thing would apply. It's like for me, I could say, hey, Leo, let's have a debate. Let's talk about this. It wouldn't do any good. He's made up his mind. He's hell bent on what he's hell bent on, right? So it's one of those things that, a good example is John chapter 6, the bread of life discourse. Jesus is talking to this crowd. And for all intents and purposes, he's pointing out, look, I'm God. Me. I came down from heaven. Me. And what was the crowd doing? Nuh-uh. That's basically what they did. They were like, nuh-uh, Jesus. We know who your mommy and daddy are. Your mama was Mary and your daddy was Joseph. So you're lying, Jesus. You didn't come down from heaven. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Even God himself, can be telling people, hey, I'm God. And they still don't believe him. We don't believe you. No. So, don't feel bad, when you talk to people and they don't want to listen. They want to, believe whatever they believe. There's nothing you can do about it. They've hardened their hearts. So, is it fruitful to have a debate with that guy? No. It wouldn't help at all. It wouldn't matter what you would say. He would just, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Because the Catholic Church said so. You know what I'm saying? It would be fruitless. It would be pointless. So, at the end of the day, you have to do exactly what Jesus says. If people don't want to listen to what you have to say, fine. Just, shake the dust off of you and move on to the next town. Someone out there is going to want to listen. It may not be Leo here. It might be Amanda. It might be John. Who knows? Don't quit. Don't give up. But instead of wasting time with people like Leo who don't care, spend that time with people who do care. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the loving thing to do, is to share it with people that want it, that desire it. So there's a lot of people out there with good hearts, good intentions. They want to share the Word of God with Catholics. And Catholics don't want to hear it. And that's okay. Let them be, and share the Word with those who want to hear it. So I'm going to give you an example to help everyone understand. Imagine you are a boy out there in the world, and you've come of age and you like girls, right? It happens, folks. So say you go to the prettiest girl out there, the girl in your school, right? and you're trying to talk with her or whatever, and she's not giving you the time of day, right? Let her go. If she doesn't want to, have anything to do with you, be like, okay, thanks. But let me tell you this. There is a girl out there who does want to listen to you, who wants to go on a date with you, who thinks highly of you. So instead of wasting your time on someone who's just always telling you, no, I'm not going to go out with you, no, focus on that girl who does want to go out with you. She may not be as pretty as, the first one, but she really does love you. She really does want you. You know what I'm saying? There's a movie that came out years ago. I think it was in the 80s. I don't remember exactly what the name of it was, but I think it was with a guy named Rob Lowe. And basically, he was working in Las Vegas as a, I don't know, he worked at a restaurant or something like that. Some type of, I don't know, a restaurant or something like that, hotel. And I think he parked cars for a living or something like that. He was the valet. And basically he had the hots for the Princess of England or the Duchess of England or some craziness like that. And so he was trying to save up money and get into Oxford, right? And so he's drooling all over this girl. He has like the posters of her and magazines and all kinds of stuff. And he thinks that they're just destined to be together. And he goes over there, and on the first day he meets this girl. She's not as pretty, she's more homely, you know what I mean? And she's digging him, right? She has the hots for him. So the American girl who's homely has the hots for him, and he has the hots for the Duchess or Queen or Princess, whatever she is. And so he's focused his attention on her. Well, as you can guess, she basically, sidelines him. But guess what? There was that girl, that American girl that wanted him. And what happens when, instead of chasing after this craziness, he goes and he's with her. And that's when, everything turns out great. And so that's a good example, is that don't chase after the girl that doesn't want you. Let her be. If she doesn't want you, that's fine. You're lost, not mine. But you know what? There's a girl right here who wants you, who thinks highly of you, who's going to love you. And do you see what I'm saying? So throughout life, give your love, give your attention to those who want it. So if you're dating a girl and she's like, I'm going to dump you, goodbye. Okay, fine. I'm going to give my love to somebody who wants it. If you don't want my attention or my love or whatever it is, that's fine. Old, Amanda or Sally or someone over here is going to want my attention. They're going to want to go on dates with me, whatever, right? It's the same way. It's the same way. Leo here is like the girl who's like rejecting you and say, no, thank you. I don't want to go on a date with you. No, thank you. Okay, Leo. That's fine. Go do your own thing, Leo. But you know what? Amanda over here, or Sally, She's just dying to go on a date with me. You know? Okay. That's what you do. Otherwise, if you keep, going after that guy, he's it's not going to work. He's not going to, so for the Protestant out there who put out that invitation to Leo, he's just wasting his time. Leo is the girl who's dumping everyone. No, I don't want it. No. Okay. But there's another girl out there who wants it. So, like I said, think about it that way. And understand, they're just, it's like if you're the guy and you ask this girl out on a date, and you're like, hey, Cindy, how about we go on a date Friday night? And she's like, no. Dust yourself off. Be like, okay, fine. You don't want to go to the movies with me, Cindy? That's okay. Amanda over here, she wants to go to the movies with me. So we're going to go have a great time. You can go sit at home and mope and do whatever you want to do. Have at it. Amanda and I, we're going to go have a great night. You can be a sourpuss, whatever. So it's the same way. That's exactly the same mentality that Jesus had. Is, hey, you go into these towns and you want to talk to them about the good news. If they don't want to hear it, they're like, okay, dust yourself off and go to the town that does want to hear it. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. Right? So, that's a very good lesson for all you men out there. If you are, if there's a girl in your life and she's not giving you the time of day, she's not trying to work with you or help you out or nothing, let her be. Let her go. There are plenty of girls out there who are going to want to date you, who are going to want to go to the prom with you. They're going to want to whatever. Okay? Let them go. So, it's funny how life is. We have examples like I gave you about men and women. And it's the same thing with Jesus. Isn't that amazing? So, all you can do with somebody like Leo is say, you know what, Leo? I hope for the best. That's it. I wish you the best, Leo. That's all you can do is wish them the best. But you know what, Leo? I'm going to go to John now. John wants to listen to what I have to say. Too bad, so sad. But John here, he wants to listen. And in the same way, like I said, we could give so many examples. It's like in the New Testament, we have Martha and Mary. One girl is trying to cook and clean and get everything nice for Jesus, and the other girl is sitting there wanting to listen to Jesus. And one girl's like, but Jesus, you need to tell her to help me out, because we have to, serve everyone and do the chores and wash dishes and whatever else. And he's like, no, I'm not going to stop her. Why? Because this is more important. She wants me, right? Why am I going to reject her when she wants me? You see what it is? So it's the same way, like if you are a man and you are, interested in a girl, don't reject the girl that wants you. Reject the girl who doesn't want you, right? Be like, okay, you didn't want me? Bye. Sally here does want me. So, I want you to know I do try and put things into, I try and use examples to help you understand things a little bit better. That's why I do it. So hopefully you can relate. If you are a man, hopefully you can relate. And for all you women out there, okay, try and understand what I'm saying here, okay? Don't expect a man to be chasing after you if you're not giving anything to him. You can't, that's not going to work. If you just expect a man to chase after you, no. If you want him, then you need to put forth some effort, some energy, If he asks you out on a date, say sure. Okay? But otherwise, he's going to go pick Sally, who does want to go on a date with him. Do you see what I'm saying? So don't get offended and upset if he chooses Sally over you. Men are going to behave just like Jesus talks about. They're going to go after the girls that want them, that treat them right. They're not going to be chasing after, nothing. I know. I try and impart my my wisdom wherever I can. One of these days I might need to create a relationship channel, a godly Christian relationship channel, where I can educate men and women about relationships. But anyways, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. God bless.